Hi everyone. I saw a news where Amazon is asking some 350,000 employees to relocate to a specific location or a set of locations, or otherwise they will be fired or they'll be asked to leave without severance package. Now, when we read such kind of news items, we again feel that, oh, Amazon is letting go so many employees. So there is a layoff happening at scale and things like that, right? It is natural to feel like that. But in today's video, which is a very important video, I want to tell you how you need to think, how you need to really assess such news items. So I was talking to somebody who's in his 40s and he told me, Anand, tell me honestly, am I employable? If I go and apply for jobs, will companies even call me for interviews? So my answer is whether you will get a lot of calls or whether you will get few calls depends on your skill set and experience and the demand at that particular time in the market. So we cannot just go by the feeling that I am in my 40s and I am not going to get jobs. That's wrong. I will narrate one more incident. One more guy called me, and this guy is like earning more than 50 lakhs. And this guy told me that I am scared of layoffs. So I asked him what happened. Are you part of a layoff? He said no. Then I asked him, what is the problem? He told me, my company is laying off 10% of the workforce. So I asked him, how many employees do you have in your company? He said, more than 1 lakh. So I said, are you part of that list? He said, no. So I said, okay, can you go and check with your manager? How is your performance? He said, I am a very critical resource. My manager already appreciates me. Then I said, what is your problem? Why are you scared of the layoff there? Then he told me that because my company is laying off 10% out of 1 lakh, I think that someday I will also become a target. Now, here is what I need to tell you. All these things, whether you are fearful about a layoff or whether you are doubting yourself, whether I will get a call or not, all these things are actually not the right way to think. I want to tell you that a lot of us are consuming content, or a lot of us are just consuming the headlines. So either you're just consuming the title of the video or the thumbnail, or when you are reading a newspaper or an article online, you are just consuming the top level themes. You are not deep diving into details. For example, we created a video few days earlier about layoffs at Intel. And in that video, we have done a deep dive of why the layoffs are happening at Intel and what are the kind of roles which are getting impacted. And if you are part of that, then what you should do. So that is the exact approach you should take. In fact, I'll tell you, see things in two ways. One is the macro level thinking. Macro level thinking is what is happening in the industry. Is AI taking away a lot of jobs? Probably yes. Is layoffs happening in almost every other companies? Definitely yes. Should you be worried about it? Yes. But is your role going to get impacted? We don't know, right? So we don't know whether you will be impacted or not. So just assuming that you will get impacted one day is not a good thing. Or just assuming that you will not get a job because you're in your 40s is not a good thing, because you don't know the specifics. So, what you really need to derive or take out of bold news items are patterns. For example, from the Amazon news, you can take away that yes, Amazon is asking employees to relocate to the main locations, which means return to office is real. Corona or COVID period is gone, and now most companies are asking to relocate. So, if you are not at the base location wherever you are working, you need to start to plan that, okay, tomorrow if my company asks me to come back, am I ready to do that? So, relocation is one pattern that you can pick from there. Second is the news from TCS, where TCS is kind of changing the bench policy and making sure that people stay billable, right? So now from this news, you need to pick a pattern that I need to be in a billable role. So if you are in a support function, which is like a HR, finance, admin kind of function, you need to think about, okay, is my company going to target non-billable position in support functions? If yes, then you need to start to plan. Or if you are in a role where you are not billable, maybe a tech role, but an internal role, then also you need to start to think. So billability is a pattern that you need to pick from the TCS news. And one related point, I was in this meetup which was organized by Savinder, where somebody said a very important thing. Ask yourself, are you in a role where you are building something or selling something? if you are doing one of these two things, then most likely you are safe. Because when you are building something for the client, you are billable. Or when you are building something for your company, then the company is going to sell that service or sell that product or solution. Then also you are very much critical. Or you are selling something for the company, then also you are needed. But if you're in support functions, if you're in periphery, then there is probably a question mark. So that is how you need to think. Third thing which most people are worried about is AI taking over jobs, right? So AI definitely slowly is taking over roles, but in so many videos we have discussed that it is going to first impact low end jobs, manual jobs, right? So you need to ask yourself, is my job manual? How much manual effort is required? How much of it is repeatable? Is automation something which my leaders or my company thinking? So ask yourself about those specifics, and then you need to worry about it or not worry about it. It is not something which is going to happen overnight. Then last thing, look at your company's performance. How is my company performing? Look at the past 3 quarters data in terms of its share value, in terms of business pipeline, in terms of profit margins. That will indicate how your company is doing. Do the same for your department or business unit. So that will give you a clear indication of how my company is doing, how my business unit or department is doing, and whether it is going to impact me or not. So these are some of the macro level patterns you need to observe whenever you see a layoff news. Don't just restrict yourself to reading the headline. Deep dive into the article and understand, why is this company laying off, where is this layoff happening, and what kind of departments or what kind of employees are getting impacted. That will give you a pattern, and then you can think, okay, can this happen in my company? Is my company in this similar state, or will my company be in a similar state few months down the line? So that is how you need to analyze all the news items. You don't need to worry about, oh, what is going to happen to me tomorrow. So all these are items which are mostly macro level. The only thing which you need to worry about at micro level is your performance. You need to ask yourself, how is my performance over the last few quarters of last few months? Is my boss happy? Is my customer happy? Ask yourself, if you're doing the same thing over the last few years, if you have not upskilled, that is your problem. If you're not learning new things, that is your problem. If you see that in your project or program, earlier there were 10 people doing the same job, but now 5 jobs are cut because of AI or automation, then that is your problem. So the micro level things happen around you or with you. So you are responsible to take those actions of upskilling or maybe working on the feedback given by your manager or bosses. So that is where you need to focus on. Focus on your relationship with your customer, with your boss. That is where the focus has to be. The macro level items indicate what is happening in the industry, and the micro level is where you need to make efforts to bring change. Okay, so next time when you read a news, ask yourself, how is it impacting your company, or is there a signal which you need to worry about? Don't ever think about that I am in my 40s and that is why people will not hire you. People will not hire you if you are not upskilling, if you are not relevant, if you are not able to perform in the interviews, if you are not able to articulate things well. And lastly, don't worry if you are working in a company with the size of 1 lakh plus and 10% people get fired, because most likely those 10% people are low performers. And if your role is critical, if your manager appreciates you, and if you see that there is a pipeline ahead in which you will keep getting projects, then what is the need to worry? You don't need to worry at all. All right. I hope this was helpful and you were able to resonate with it. Let me know what you think about it in comments. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you like the video, hit the like button and share it in your WhatsApp groups. I'll see you in another video soon. Take care and bye for now.